noise at Dublin Airport is an issue for all of us. And it is easy for me to be flippant. Dublin Airport was opened in 1939. Anybody who has bought a house, and this is the easy answer, knew there was an airport there. But what is not, I think, fairly covered is the amount of investment that the dramatic reductions in noise that aircraft today, new engines, new aircraft, are dramatically reducing noise. And we have videos up on our website, and those numbers are correct. But the decibel levels in St. Margaret's and Ballybohol and these places, when an aircraft is overhead, is about somewhere between 53 and 55 decibels. And O'Connell Street Bridge is 72 decibels. So I would never say there isn't a noise issue. Certainly Dublin Airport needs to do more on housing insulation, but what is not covered fairly, I mean, I was furious. RTE did the usual rubbishy coverage of this about 6 months ago, interviewing some teary-eyed lady in her house. The children couldn't sleep. It wasn't because there are no flights taking off between, I think it's midnight and 7 a.m. in the morning. If you were standing, I'm surprised anybody let two politicians into their living room at 4:30 in the morning, but if that was, it might have been a transatlantic aircraft landing, and that would be unusual. And to be fair, even those aircraft are dramatically quieter than they were now. But having two runways instead of one, using two runways at least reduces the number of movements over anybody's individual property by 50%, and those movements are taking place on dramatically quieter aircraft. But we, and I don't think the DAA has more to do on insulation and other measures. We as the airlines need to invest more money in improving the noise performance of our aircraft. But we also need to push back against, and I say this with some trepidation, some of the NIMBYs out there who, no matter what you do, are never going to be happy. That is factually correct. There was 26,000 complaints to noise, I think it was in 2022 or 2023, and 24,200 came from one individual. Thank you very much, but go away. There are challenges, and we all need to address the noise issue. We have to be a good neighbour. If we want to grow Dublin Airport, and we do, we have to be a good neighbour for the people who live around Dublin Airport. But when people are being unreasonable and making unreasonable complaints, I mean, one of the ones that RT, they featured some national school, and the noise over the playground was dreadful. Well, we went out and measured the noise over that playground when an aircraft was overhead was 58 decibels. And with the greatest respect, kids are only in school from about 9:30 until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and they're out in the playground. They're not suffering oral damage, but we still need to invest in more in aircraft that will reduce those. Just on the slots issue, we have to. There are two issues here. You have slot-constrained airports like Heathrow and Gatwick, where you hold those slots every year, and if you're the holder of those slots, you have those historic rights. They're not growing, so you're not applying, but you still have to apply for the slots every year. And occasionally an airline might lease or transfer a slot to somebody else, and that has to go into the process. That's not where we are. When Aer Lingus was sold to, I think, to IAG, there was a protection, and the government rightly put in protections on the Heathrow slots and also the Gatwick slots. But IAG has now taken the Gatwick slots. Aer Lingus no longer fly to Gatwick, and those Gatwick slots have been used for something else. What we're talking about here, though, in Ireland, at Dublin and Cork and Shannon, and again, come in, correct me if I'm wrong, we file our winter and our summer schedules. We are entitled to the historic slots. Sorry, go ahead. Okay, we're entitled to the historic slots, but we can't get the extra slots now that we need for the winter extras.